This man just threw one of the craziest Superman punches we've seen in a long time. A couple weeks ago against the Winnipeg Jets. He's a legend in Buffalo. His dad was a legend in Buffalo. Now he's over there in Minnesota. Marcus Foligno. Marcus, thank you for joining us, brother. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, buddy.
Absolutely, man.
Wait, you're in Seattle right now.
Failed Superman punch, by the way. It was a failed Superman.
That was a fail? Hey, you know what? Let's get right into that because we were sitting here and we're talking about bringing someone on, and I saw that mic'd up piece. I think the Minnesota Wild.com put that out there. Your mic'd up piece. I'm like, what a time. The mic'd up piece, the Superman punch, the crazy game, the way that thing kind of, you guys came back and battled. The crowd was loud. I got to ask you, though, did you, just as a guy who fought before, I was always nervous trying something new in a fight because a guy is trying to punch you in the face, right? You know, it's not really the time for experiments, you know, and did you know you're going to do it? At what point did you decide you're going to try that?
Honestly, I didn't really know I was going to do it probably until I got to the blue line. We're at their blue line. I just thought, you know what, like it was one of those games where it was right out of the gates. I mean, Winnipeg, I think they were, you know, they haven't won a game, so they were pretty physical right off the get-go, and they were kind of going after one of our star players, Kaprizov, a little bit too hard, and you know, that's just what teams do when they're kind of in a hole early. So I understand that point, but you want to respond, and you know, having the mic on that game or not on that game, I think it's just one of those things. You just, you know, you're just in the moment. You had to play emotional that night, and it was our home opener. So yeah, you challenge Dylan, who's a tough guy too. I fought him before, and he's got long arms and a long reach, and he's a competitor too, so I give him a lot of credit. But just one of those things, I got close to him, and I know he had long arms. I'm just like, I don't know, I'm going to go for it. So it was one of those things. I'm just like 1, 2, 3. I just kind of pushed myself into it. And I'm like, I'm gonna go down with a swing here, and we'll just see what happens. And luckily, I didn't fall on my face and embarrass myself. And you know, it ended up kind of getting separated. And then we got back into kind of a regular fight after that. But I've seen. You know, I wouldn't lie. I've obviously seen it before. With BX had done it.
BX, right?
And it's just kind of a tactic that I think it's good to keep opponents on their toes a little bit, or just don't know what you're going to bring every night. I see some really, you know, well-known fighters in our league still this day that do it. They have some, you know, different ways of handling a grab, or, you know, guys are a little bit more, you know, structured in their kind of holds and stuff. And not that I want to, you know, become that, you know, guy that's going to throw a punch like that every time, but hey, man, so it was good.
What about the that's the part with it too, is having that mic on you, and there's almost like that little delay, right? Like you jump, you boom, come in there like that, and the place went nuts, and like I got goosebumps now talking about it when I'm hearing that. It's like, because that footage looks like we're on the ice with you, right? And the crowd went nuts. I'm just wondering the whole time that when the fight was separated, you guys go to the box, or I actually think you went to the room. Did Brendan Dillon say something to you later, like, what the fuck? What are you doing, man? What was that? Did he say anything about it?
I mean, I think when it happened, I mean, it was just, yeah, he kind of got a little bit jumped from it, and didn't know really what hit him. And then after we got to the box, we did look at each other and we're just like, hey, good job. But you can tell when he looked at me, he was like, I dodged a bullet there. So it was, you know, that's pretty much all it was said. And after that, we did our business and then played hockey after that. But yeah, you know, it was actually pretty, you know, in that moment when you did take a swing, I did hear the crowd go pretty loud after that. So I think everyone was pretty fired up after that moment.
Hey, Rupper, I got something. You mentioned Marcus being mic'd up. And Marcus, my boss, Pat McAfee, former NFL punter, played in the NFL for like 8-9 years. He talked about how guys in the NFL, when they're mic'd up, they're letting everybody know, like, hey, I got the mic. I'm hot. Is it like that in hockey too? Are you boys doing that in the locker room? Like, hey, let's watch what we're saying here.
Yeah, I think it's more for guys not sewering their teammates, you know, like, you know, a guy makes a bad play, holy, like, you know,
this guy's
that's more for me. I'm like, hey, don't, you know, that's we don't want that on there. But yeah, I do let guys know, and you know, it's just one of those things you just want to be cautious of. Hey, we're under a microscope these days all the time now, so it's not like Rupper's days a little bit when you you didn't have the phones and everything like that. So
What are you insinuating? What are you insinuating? There's no technology back when I played?
Good old boys.
You're bang on though. You're bang on. It's like
maybe the Instagram stuff maybe wasn't around when you were starting out. So,
hey, but I love the clip.
The biggest thing.
Yeah, I love the clip and I love the comeback there. Talk about your team has been coming back in games. I mean, the Wild are exciting right now. The way that Eriksson Ek, I think in that game, didn't he have the tying goal and then the OT winner? I mean, Can you take us through and how crazy was XL up there in Minnesota?
Yeah, honestly, it was. We were talking about it after the game was done. We're like, was that a playoff game? Like, was this it's this game 3 of the season? Like, are we done here? It was insane. Like, it was that loud, and that we didn't really hear. We played Vegas in the playoffs last year with 30% capacity, and it didn't get that loud, obviously, but it was unbelievable that game. And Eriksson Ek, to cap it off with a hat trick in overtime was the barn. The roof was about to just take off. And I think the game tying goal, when that offside call got turned over, it was insane. You saw the offside call get turned over. People were leaving, so everyone starts running down the stairs. And before you know it, the puck's dropped, we throw it in the zone, and then Eriksson Ek bats it, kind of a fluky, lucky play, and people are just going nuts. Like it kind of felt like we won the Stanley Cup game, and it was unbelievable. So the celebration was much needed. It made it pretty cool. It kind of capped off a time where we got all our fans back in the stands. So it was a heck of a game to bring them all back to that one.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and looking, and I know you're a Buffalo kid, and I love to talk a little bit about your dad and a little bit here too, and obviously your brother Nick. But this is the thing, I'm sitting there looking, and I knew your upcomings as far as playing the game. I knew you're from Buffalo. I knew you played in. So the fans that are there, maybe all these places, obviously, but maybe some don't know Sudbury, right? I played in the OHL, and my agent at the time, I was from Cleveland, and my agent said, "Hey, here's the play before the OHL draft." He goes, "You're an American kid. All you got to say is, I'm not going to report to any team that's not either in the States or at least close to it." So I'm like, what does that mean? I don't even know some of these teams in the OHL. He's like, "You're not going to Sudbury. You're not going to North Bay. You'll never see, it's going to snow every day. You're never going to." Yeah. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh, man, played in Sudbury. I like it. I mean, that was a tough place to go and play as an opponent. So you played in Sudbury in the OHL. Yeah. You're from Buffalo originally. Then you play for the Sabres, okay? And then you find yourself in Minnesota. Like, good Lord, do you own shorts or sandals? Or these are like the 3 coldest places in North America.
I know. It's looking back at it, I'm like, man, it'd be so nice to play for Florida or something like that. And one of these teams or something that enjoys sun year round. But I don't know. I grew up in that hockey family, and that feeling of, man, when it's cold out and you're going to the rink on a freezing day, like, I don't know, I grew up liking that. And it feels real. It feels like the hockey season's there. So I enjoy that. I know Sudbury it's a mining town. It's hard-working town, and I got pretty comfortable with playing in front of
blue-collar, baby,
like that, hard-working people.
Yeah.
And you went from Sudbury to Buffalo, just blue-collar, hard-working people that love their sports. And Minnesota's no different. I mean, I think Minnesota for sure a little bit more upscale in a sense with Minneapolis and stuff like that. You're getting a bigger city, but it's great people and you're great fan bases, and I'm lucky to be playing for those types of teams so far in my career. So, I mean, yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I'm sure that Sudbury made me tougher a little bit just with the harsh winters and just the style of play being up in Sudbury. But I know maybe being in Erie Otter would have been different for you. I know you played there, so the winters are still tough there, I bet, but not as long and grueling as Sudbury for sure.
Yeah, you talked about it making it tougher. It's got to make it tougher, right? You can sit there, you go outside, and it's when I got traded to Minnesota. I remember there was 30 consecutive days of negative weather, and I was like, "Is this for real? Like, where are we right now?" But I will say this. With that being said, I would move to Minnesota tomorrow and live there. I loved Minnesota. I love the embracing of the outdoors, man. I love going. He's from the ice fishing to the lakes in the summertime. Yeah. It's a great spot. But you talk about how maybe geographically it's kind of helped you with toughness. But I'd have to assume, man, you got a lot of toughness from your dad. I mean, your dad, Mike Foligno, you're talking
legend.
Over 1,000 games in the NHL, over 2,000 penalty minutes. And one of the things I love the most, and I saw this clip where it was you guys and your dad, you, Nick, and your dad talking. And Nick said something where the boys were giving him a hard time, like, hey, man, your first NHL goal, you're going to jump. You're going to jump like your pops. And your dad was known for getting so excited when he scored. He's jumping up and down with the Maple Leafs. And I love it. And I started watching this, and I'm like, and I got goosebumps again when I'm watching you guys score at the NHL level, both of you, and you're giving them that homage, right? You're jumping up and down. Yeah. You talk about how what he's meant to you, because these, you're talking about the first time I interviewed your brother. I remember I was done, I was done playing the game, and I started doing this TV stuff, and I interviewed Nick, and I'm like, this guy's a captain. Like, this guy is a captain. And then I talked to Billy Guerin, your GM, about you, and he goes, this guy's a leader, man. Because I was asking him about the overturn in Minnesota with the big moves that were made, and he's like, yeah, we're good. We've got guys. We've got Marcus. He's a leader. Is that all come from your dad? And like, how did that develop? How'd you guys get to, you're only what, 2 or 3 years old at probably the end of his career. So you didn't necessarily see him play that way. How did you get that in your game?
Yeah, I think, that came to my game from, my dad just, I was lucky enough to have him, coach after his career too. He coached, he coached the Colorado Avalanche for 3 years, just after before they won the Cup in 2001, I believe. And he was down in Hershey in the junior Hershey Bears in the AHL, and then we kind of went all over and followed his coaching career, and that's when we ended up in Sudbury. But just being around the rink, and then obviously, yes, we saw, I got to see his old videos of his highlights reels and his goals he scored and the fights he did. And, but I think the one thing that stuck out with me with my dad is, as I got older, meeting ex-teammates of his and what they would say about my dad made me kind of realize, the heart and soul player that he was and what he meant to those guys. And, everyone just said, unbelievable teammate, put the team first, put guys first, make sure everyone's doing well. And that was stuck with Nick and I. And I don't know, I think that's just a winning formula. I don't think I've ever seen a Stanley Cup team be, different or separated. I don't think you can win the Stanley Cup that way. I mean, Rupper, you need everyone in the right direction and pulling for each other. And just seeing the way my dad played, heart and soul, and gave it all he's got every night. And just that's one thing that stuck with me. I mean, the work ethic that he brought and the intensity that he brought, that rubbed off on Nick and I. And then, that stems from when he would come to watch us play. And if we didn't do that, he would let us know. So it's one of those things where we got ingrained early that, like, hey, this is the way you're going to play because, you are a Foligno and this is what we do. And it's the right way to play. Like, it's just the passion of the game. And that's what he gave us passion to love the game and never forced it on us. I think that's the one thing too. He's never forced the game on us. He wanted to make us love it ourselves and enjoy it and have so much fun with it. But you're going to do it the right way. You're not going to cheat the game. You're not going to cheat your teammates. And just the way he played, that's how he played every night, heart and soul. He'd stick up for teammates. And I think Nick and I always looked at that as that's something that goes a long way with a team. And that's how you build a winning relationship. So that's just something that we learned from him. And just the way he is as a person off the ice. I mean, he's an unbelievable father, but he's a guy that will come up to anyone and shake their hand, look them in the eyes, introduce himself. He doesn't walk by people. Just the type of person he was raised, and it's rubbed off on us. And I think that's where the leadership qualities that he possessed is a little bit different from others.
Hey, Marcus, Marcus, your last name, Foligno. Are you Italian? Is that Italian heritage?
I am Italian. Can't speak a lick of it, but I am Italian, yeah.
Knew it. See, that's it. No, it's all in the genes, the hard work.
Great recognizes great, Nick.
Touch of class.
I know, Marcus, it makes sense. I mean,
Marcus, you were talking about your home games being electric. You go to Vancouver last night, full barn there, knocked them off. Beautiful win. Thank you for that. And then you go, and now you're in Seattle. That place is going to be chaos. What's it been like, whether on the road or at home? How good is it just to feel that electricity of all the fans in the building?
It's been amazing. I mean, last night Vancouver was really cool. I mean, they got the whole, stadium in Canada, singing the O Canada national anthem because it's been so long since they've been there. So you get goosebumps right away from the puck drop, and it just says a lot about our team to kind of go into places like that and fight against that adversity, and a team that's revved up and pumped up too. So and it just seeing Seattle, I mean, it's going to be exciting tomorrow. We checked out the rink today. It's phenomenal. It's unbelievable, and a lot like Vegas. I mean, they have two scoreboards like jumbotrons in there. It's not just one; they have two. So it's a big production here in Seattle, and it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night.
That's business money.
Expect a lot of intensity, and they're just coming off a big win against Montreal too. So it's great though. This is what we play for. We play for the fans and that emotion of the game and the momentum swings, and something that was definitely missing. I mean, we had to create a lot of that on our own last year just by playing the game, but the fans, man, it's unbelievable with them there and cheering you on or booing you. It's I'd rather have people booing me than nothing at all. So it's been a blast.
What about last year?
Hey,
Go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say, you mentioned last year, Kirill Kaprizov. He's the rookie on the team. Comes over from Russia. What is he? 24 years old. I'm just curious, how did he fit in with you guys?
He might be 30.
Yeah, right. That's what I want to know.
Where's the birth certificate?
I want to know how
this guy.
I want to know how he fit in with you guys. Then he signs the big deal, and he hasn't scored yet this year. We know he's going to. We know he's going to light it up. But have you guys been on him so far? Like, hey, what's the deal? What's going on, man?
Yeah. We said we got to start spreading the wealth here. Every game you go, we got to come up your paycheck a little bit. So, no, he's been. You know what? He's been one of those guys that he's still creating a lot of offense. It's one of those things. He's a little bit snake bit, and maybe trying too hard in a sense of he wants to do a lot. And but I mean, it's one thing if he's not creating chances or he's not working. I mean, the guy is battling out there, and he's doing a lot of great things and setting up. I mean, he's hit crossbars and posts, and it's come close a couple times. So we know it's not gonna be long until he has multi-point games and things like that start picking up. I mean, it's I know the contract might play in the back of people's minds on the outside, thinking he just got paid and all that stuff where he might be comfortable, but he's not. He's ticked off when he doesn't score on shifts like that. It's the same guy he was last year, and I think that's what us teammates respect so much about him, is the guy just is the same person every night. So he's an unbelievable player for us. He's worth every penny, and he's a big part of this team moving forward. So he's been great, and his English has been a little better this year too. So that's been nice.
Is he trying? I played a lot of Russians. They don't try. Yeah. I mean, I sit there and listen. I was in Columbus with Nikolai Zherdev, and every time something was told to him that was maybe in a negative tone, not to understand. Nick, you've been here for fucking 7 years. Like, come on, dude. You understand? Yeah. You understand what he says? Get out there on the power play. Like, you understand this. So, so Kirill's trying here.
Yeah, he is. He's not just waiting for the 5-on-3. He's actually giving it. No, he is. He's learning. He's talking a lot more. I think just being more comfortable. Last year was just an eye opener, and I mean, I think about it too. The guy came over during the pandemic. Like, there's nothing you can do, and not even enjoy Minnesota, the Minneapolis. Like, get outside, enjoy the guys, go for drinks, go for dinner. Like, he wasn't doing any of that stuff. So this year, it's definitely better. I mean, Rupper, he came out to one of I think Jared Spurgeon's house, and he dined on it, and he's like, wow, like this is actually in Minnesota. Like, he didn't know like neighborhoods existed like that. So he everything's just new to this guy, and he's taking it on this year. So he's been a lot better talking wise, and he gets a lot of it now.
I talked to Zach Parise last year, and I go, hey, what's the kid like? Like, I don't know. There's just something about him that, like, from the out as an outsider watching the game, where I'm like, he's got this swagger that I love, right? And Zach's like, he's a beauty, Rupper. You'd love him. Like and the one thing that I noticed, and I started following, obviously he had a long drag it out, slug it out negotiation going to get that contract. And it's like, he's in the midst of these reports. Mike Russo's writing this stuff. And it's like, is he going to be ready for camp? Meanwhile, this dude's on Instagram wakeboarding. No contract. He's just like, he's living life. Like, is he just an absolute beauty or what?
Yeah, he is. He's he's as relaxed as they come, but at the same time, he's very competitive. I mean, he'll want to do stuff with the guys in the room. I mean, we had soccer volleyball this morning. That was pretty competitive with that guy. So everything that you do is just he's great. He likes to get together for dinners and stuff like that too. So he's got that mentality where, you know, he might come across as a little bit you know, wanting to be the best, or, you know, thinks he's the best, but this guy's totally for the team and wants to get together with the guys. And it's honestly, like, he's not Russian. Like, I call him, like, he's like from a different north, you know, the woods of Russia. Like, he's not the city slicker type guy. So he's right up my alley, and he's been a treat to play with so far.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So with him and you now, and I know you're not a spring chicken, but you're not an old guy. You lose Suter and Parise this offseason, who were kind of the guys there for years, and I assume they were the leaders and all that in the locker room. And did you kind of take it upon yourself, or was it kind of a thing in the locker room, like, hey boys, let's we got to step up now. It's someone else's turn to kind of lead and kind of roll with it, because it's impressive to see what you guys did last year, and then to carry it over the start you're on so far.
Yeah, I mean, we lost two big guys, kind of face of the franchise for a long time, and you know, players that you know, were heck of players. Not, like I've said this before, not because of lack of effort, but, you know, we made changes, and Billy's come here and wanted to make changes, and when things haven't been working for a while, it's just what happens in this league. And you know, it's just, you have to take it upon yourself. I mean, me being an assistant captain this year, I wanted to step up, and it's a huge honor to get a letter and to replace those guys too, in a way. I don't want to replace them and try to be someone I'm not, but we have a lot of guys on this team that can step up into different roles. And you saw last year, like Eric Sinek, you know, he got more of a bigger role, and, you know, look at the season he had last year. And, you know, there's guys now that are coming into, you know, we need more of Kevin Fiala this year, and it's going to really bring some guys up. And even the back end, you know, with Matt Dumba and Brodeen, I think, you know, most underrated player in the league, I think, is Jonas Brodeen, and he's getting more of a face time now for the franchise, and rightfully so. So I just think it's just change. It's what's happening right now, and I think, you know, we're really getting guys that are stepping up to the occasion and wanting that, and that's exciting for our team. And you know, it's great to be a part of the leadership group, but we got so many great guys with experience on our team right now. It's easy to kind of bounce off when you're in tight games or you're maybe down a goal. Our team doesn't panic, and that's what's pretty exciting right now. So it's been a great vibe in the dressing room. All the boys are getting along, and we're having fun right now, and it's off to a good start.
I got a funny Jared Spurgeon story, and you talk about leadership, and you've got the A, and we know that obviously with kind of turning the page and the difficult decisions that Billy Guerin had to make with, you know, Mikko Koivu was the longtime captain. Now it's Jared Spurgeon. And so this was probably back in 2013. I got traded to the Wild and from the Rangers, and the team's playing. They're on the road in Arizona. I fly into Minnesota, and there's no one there, right? So I go and I'm practicing. I'm just trying to get on the ice on the off day. They're playing that night in Arizona, and I get on the ice with one of the skills coaches, and I walk in the locker room, and I sit there, and I'm in the changing room, and there's like this little kid in here, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm Mike. I just got traded here. And he's like, yeah, I'm Jared. And he's, you know, he's soft spoken. He was just coming into the league. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. I like that. Because you know how sometimes, like, when the team's on the road and whether you're recovering from an injury or whatever the circumstances, like, they'll sometimes have maybe a local goaltender, a local player come and pass you pucks. I'm like, cool. They brought a kid out to pass me some pucks so I can get some shots. And so we go on the ice and I'm like, this kid's pretty fucking good. I'm like, who is this kid? And I swear to God, we end that practice. I come to the rink the next day. The team comes back from Arizona. We have a real practice, and he's getting ready in the locker room. And I'm like, wait, this guy's on the team? And I had no idea. And it was Jared Spurgeon, man. I love that cute little fella, and I love his development in his career, because he is probably one of the hardest players I ever practiced against. He's smart. He knows when to strike. He'll stay off you, and he knows when to get in there, get under your hands. And how's he been as a captain with this squad?
He's been great. I mean, I think, like you said, I think the hockey IQ on this guy is off the charts. That's what makes him so special. Is the physical side of it isn't in his favor, but man, he just leans on guys in different spots and pushes guys off pucks. And I always said that when he's 70 years old, he's still going to look the same way he is now. Just the way his face is. We call him Leatherface. The thing is it's perfect. No facial hair. He looks probably like he did when he was 12. So, he's been, and I think just, being a captain, just the consistency, that guy just brings consistency all the time. I mean, day in and day out, he just is a pro's pro, shows up, he demands, everyone to follow him. And that's what great leaders do, right? They just make sure everyone's following them in the right order. And it's an easy guy to follow like that. I mean, he's special. He's a big part of our room, obviously. And he says the right things at the right time. I mean, he's not a big, yeller or screamer. I think that's more me and Matt Dumba's jobs. But he's definitely a guy that just everyone, when he speaks, you listen to him. He knows what he's talking about, and you move on. And it's amazing the career he's kind of cut out for himself, from what he goes as a drafted player to kind of getting bounced around, and ends up being in Minnesota for a long time and being a huge part of the franchise now. It's been awesome.
I got one last one for you, and I appreciate you staying on longer than we were originally planning on. But so I texted Dumbs, and I was like, Dumba, hey, we're having your boy Moose on. I'm like, give me something, man. What's the something? I'm giving him the. I was giving him the opportunity, and Dumbs didn't get back to me. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity to get Dumbs. Tell us something about Matt Dumba that we can absolutely sewer him out here on this podcast.
Oh man. I don't even know where to begin with this guy. There's too many stories with him, but he's an absolute character. I mean, I think whether it's he had a Maserati a couple years ago. He had this Maserati. Ghibli, is it a Ghibli or whatever it's called? I forget that way to pronounce that name. But this guy almost got to an accident on the way. He had this Maserati for the longest time, and it was run down, beaten up. And Dumb's always to do this thing where before games, I guess he likes to push the time. He likes to kind of come in, cut it close, right? Gets the adrenaline pumping before the game. You're supposed to be there at 5:00. Well, he'll get in at 4:55 or something like that, just to get the blood going. So I guess one time, his Maserati, I don't think he had an oil change for a long time, and I guess his RPMs on the way and they just stuck to all the way to 6. So this guy was going down the highway, 94, and was just going all the way to St. Paul, and he was absolutely ripping 130 something. Couldn't do it. Put his forward flash on. He's honking. He's going on the side of the road. This guy went all the way off. I think he ended up putting the parking brake on, slamming it. Well, he's 30 minutes late to the game. And I think ambulance or cops had to show up and bring this guy in. And it's just this is the type of, this is my first year with this guy. I'm like, what is the matter with you? You get enough money, you should be getting escorted to the rink by himself anyways. Isn't he you probably have a driver now, but this is the type of guy. I mean, he's just one of the funniest guys out there. I mean, he's probably one of the guys that I've ever had steal my hotel key and then hide in my closet and scare the shit out of me when I come to my hotel room. He's one of those guys. So He's always up for a good thing. The embarrassing stories on this guy, I don't really have too many. He's
No, that's
always
good.
the
I
guy-
put you on the spot there.
He's
so
always
no.
the guy that's doing the shit to everyone else. So that's pretty much how it goes. But yeah, he's a great teammate.
Hey, that's the guy you want to be. Never the guy getting pranked, the guy doing the stuff. Moose, I got one more question before we let you out of here. It's something we try and ask all the guests when we have them on. If you were in charge, let's say you were in Gary Bettman's shoes for one day, let me know what you would like to change or add or get rid of in today's current modern NHL game. Like, what's something you want to see changed or just done away with?
With the rules?
Anything. Could be rules, could be something you'd like to get added in, could be anything.
I would like to see, like, I think I really liked a little bit of the schedule last season where you did get a little bit of a little mini tournament or a little weekend, and you played 2 games in Nashville, you played 2 games, and I did like that. I think it caused a little bit of rivalry, and it was just nice to be in that city for a while too. I did like the schedule a little bit in that sense. It was easier a little bit on travel. You're not kind of going from plane ride to plane ride, getting in late in different cities. I think that was a nice touch. I think the other thing is just goaltender interference. I think just some greasy calls right now, and I think the leverage has gone to goaltenders a little bit too much lately. And I know maybe Cam Talbot on my team will mother F me, but it's just one of those things. Well, I don't know. I just think that there's so many, these goalies are so good now. They're coming out and then, kind of, diving or initiating the contact when you're outside the crease. And if your butt touches them, it's just one thing. It's just there's a lot of gray area there. So, other than that, I just think that, with the league of how we can make our league better, create more revenue on that side of things. I think we're doing a great job now with the TV deal with TNT and ESPN. I think that's been huge for our league, which has been really cool. But I think anything we can do to promote our game and make it bigger is something that I would like to see the league do more of. And I think it's on the right path. I think we're doing a lot of good things now. Being a part of being a player rep and being in the NHLPA, we're starting to hear a lot of great things coming out of it and what we're doing to kind of make this game even better. So, and reaching areas that don't really have hockey. I think it's one of the main kind of concerns with what we're trying to do and accomplish. And it's kind of coming around now, so it's nice to see.
Hey, I mean, well said, well spoken. Bettman should give you a one-on-one and kind of listen to these ideas, because that was beautiful. It was perfectly laid out, and I don't think it was asking for too much either, to be honest. I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, I know. He's giving us a Winter Classic this year, so I'm happy with him.
Oh yeah. I love that. I can't wait to see you guys in that. But
you played in a couple, Rupper?
What's that?
You
Been
played
in a couple, yeah. No, you're gonna love it there. The only thing that sucks is it's gonna be minus 42 degrees there.
Yeah, just hope there's
I didn't
no
have to deal
sun
with that.
like last year. Christ.
I know. We're playing a night game too, 6 p.m. So it's going to be pretty interesting. It'll be nice to see the lights, and that Target Field where the Twins play is going to be pretty sweet. So it's going to be awesome. Good rival game.
That's a
St.
beautiful.
Louis.
That's
field,
awesome,
too.
man.
That's awesome. Hey, knock off the
Marcus,
Kraken
thank you.
tomorrow night, huh? Let's go.
Hey, come on.
We need
know.
you. We need you.
No, we're good. We'll be ready for those guys tomorrow night. It'll be fun. It'll be a good
Let's
game.
go.
Yeah, we'll see.
Appreciate you, brother. Good luck out there tomorrow night. Thanks for taking
man.
the time.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
No
Appreciate it.
Nice meeting you guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers, boss.
Everybody in the chat, everybody listening, go give this guy a follow on Instagram at Marcus Foligno 17. He's a real beauty. He's a stud. Thank you, Marcus.